Tech Lyceum, a podcast from Birlasoft.
Hi there, welcome to Tech Lyceum, a tech podcast from Birlasoft. My name is Neerja, and today we are so thrilled to bring you a groundbreaking episode featuring our first ever speaker from outside of the Birlasoft ecosystem, and it is none other than the dynamic CTO at Microsoft Innovation Hub India, Sandeep Alur. I hope you're ready for an insightful journey. Taking over from me and leading the charge today is Satinder Juneja, Global Business Marketing Head at Birlasoft, and together Satinder and Sandeep will be discussing about navigating the future of AI. This is one conversation you don't want to miss, so turn up the volume, sit back and enjoy the show. Over to you, Satinder.
Thank you, Neerja. To our listeners, it's my absolute delight and pleasure to be in conversation with a fellow technologist from Microsoft, Sandeep Alur. Sandeep is a CTO at Microsoft Innovation Hub for Microsoft India. All of you know that we partner greatly with Microsoft for servicing our clients. Not only servicing our clients, Microsoft is a very, very important partner for our internal usage. So all of you have seen our experience and usage with Copilot. Thanks to Sandeep and his team on the back end. I give some sentences about Sandeep. Sandeep calls himself as a true technologist, driven by passion. He has more than quarter century of experience and dabbles in all things technology. Sandeep, from his education point of view, has been to University of Cambridge, Indian School of Business, and initial training was, he started to become a mechanical engineer, but now he's into all things technologies. And he believes that Gen AI will usher the human-computer interaction to a new era of transformative experiences. Sandeep graced Birlasoft's Pune campus for our Gen AI Day. Now, Sandeep, it's a delight to have you amongst us.
The pleasure is mine. Thanks for hosting me.
Let me just start in a very classical manner, Sandeep. Tell us a bit about your journey. What has been your biggest inspiration in your career? How and where are you? Tell us about that.
Wonderful. So, I'm a technologist at heart. I eat, sleep, breathe technology. I'm still a developer. Despite heading Innovation Hub for Microsoft, I think I take, time out to literally experience technology. My education as a mechanical engineer, and I wanted to actually get into automobile industry. Never happened, by the way, right? I love automobiles, but IT happened. In fact, I attended Windows 95 launch event in Bangalore. Bill Gates was in Bangalore. And I took back home a 3.5-inch diskette.
Oh, yes.
Which had a Windows 95 trial edition.
Lovely.
You know what? That was my moment in my life. You know what? I want to work for Microsoft. Okay? Trust me, I don't have that same disk, but I have a 3.5 disk at home as a memory of that, right? But of course, it took me 10 years to get into Microsoft. Of course, there's a preparation required. I prepared hard, but eventually, 18 years back, I got into Microsoft. It's been my 18th year right now. But I'm a tech enthusiast. I'm also a farmer over the weekends. I love farming. My effort is to understand how technology can make a difference to farmers, but that's a long shot. But farmer of the weekend, techie at heart during the weekdays.
Fantastic. Now, techie at the heart during the weekdays. You are almost in your adulthood, if I may say, 18th year of working in Microsoft. And I can tell you, you've seen, early coding days to cloud to now the transformative Gen AI. It can become very, very hectic. I know that. And you did mention that's upon your weekend. So let's dive into weekends here. I really want to know, as a technologist, how do you unwind? What are your hobbies? You did mention your farming part, but my listeners would definitely like to know more.
Sure. No, I'm an avid runner. So I do 2 half marathons a year. I used to do full marathons in the past, but right now, looking at the schedule, preparation is a lot required for full marathon. But I do 2 halves a year. But every weekend, Saturday morning in Bangalore, Lal Bagh is a botanical garden. I do 12 kilometers. So every weekend, Saturday morning, I don't miss it. So that's one. Second, of course, I spend good time to catch up with a lot of, podcasts, videos, which doesn't let me do it the weekdays. I catch up on the weekends. So my hobby is largely running, bit of fitness, catch up with some stuff which I couldn't catch up on the weekdays. family time on a Sunday, completely. No laptop, no podcast, nothing on technology on a Sunday. When I say farming, yes, we drive as a family and we spend some time and come back. At time, alternate week we do it. But Sunday is 100% family and no laptop, no technology.
Beautiful. You mentioned the podcast. I'll definitely put in a plug here. And you put Tech Lyceum. We are available on Spotify and other podcast places that you go to. So Sandeep, it also brings to the next interesting point. There are very few technologies like you. All of us are in the technology world. I've been wanting to ask this to someone like you, is that what are the brains like? Do you bring technology also? Are your brains also in zeros and the ones in this matrix-like stuff? Or are they their own technology?
I'll tell you what, I believe technology has a profound impact on society in general. I always look at how can tech solve healthcare, right? As an example, I'm very passionate about healthcare as a domain. In fact, I'll give you a simple example. As Microsoft, we work with this oncology in a hospital called HCG in Bangalore. And look, this happened just in the midst of pandemic. We had a surgeon in Mysore city doing a surgeon oncology case in the operation theater, wearing a HoloLens, being assisted by a senior surgeon from Bangalore. Wow. Okay. So this is real. Trust me. The first line way to cut on the neck of the patient was drawn on iPad in Bangalore on doctor's room. The same line appeared for the junior surgeon in Mysore on the patient's body. So I'm proud of basically holographic spatial computing. Now I was in the OT, right? First of all, scared in OT, but it was the moment I felt, man, you always say technology has a profound impact on society and humans.
Exactly.
I could witness it.
Exactly.
Because junior surgeons have no experience and expertise.
Wow.
Senior surgeons can't be in tier 2 all the time.
Right.
They're in major cities.
Right.
So my drive with technology to see where it can impact in healthcare is one area where I'm passionately follow and see how the future is panning out for healthcare.
Brilliantly. I think must be very profound to see that superpower we use actually.
Absolutely.
Technology gives us the amazing superpower.
Yeah, in fact, I called my boss that day. Irina is MD in Microsoft India. I said, Irina, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm seeing technology making a difference to human lives. Wow. Never experienced it, but that was the moment.
It's fantastic. No, it's so profound.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about, when we started with that Gen AI day earlier today. So still continue into that. You mentioned about how technology has the superpower. So if you were to explain, and again, I'm taking it in a lighter vein here, is that if you were to explain the generative AI, the benefits of it and what it is to say a grandmom,
right? So let me give it a shot. So look, my mother is 75 years old, right? I can take her as a reference. Every time we use computers and play with phones, she's a hardcore techie herself, looking at the way she uses. But in the past, she was not. But she always questioned, hey, what do you guys do in the computer? What do you use for the phone for? Now, honestly, there was no human-computer interface at all. So today, this is real, by the way. 2 weeks back, I actually put my phone with ChatGPT real-time conversation mode. I said, Mom, ask any question. And she conversed in local language Kannada.
Wow.
With my phone for 7 to 8 minutes. So for me to explain to her where is technology today, I said technology can speak to you. Technology can see you, understand you. So if you're looking at AI, you want to ask anything. And by the way, her point was, where is the face? Where is it? The point is, yes, you will have robots probably, manning your premise, doing things. Here in Birlasoft have this beautiful campus. Imagine, somebody's watering their plants as they drive during the midday. Robot. So now, simply put, yes, I actually did the experiment. I showed this is so the best way I would do it is make them speak to this mission with no barrier, language of choice, pace, the way they want to talk. There is absolutely no barrier there. It's real. That's best way to probably demonstrate what technology is, how it relevant today is.
Right. So self-discovery is the best mode. And I think good part of the technology is that you don't need to learn anything to be able to discover that part.
Absolutely. See, this innovation can see, hear, and speak. Right. Now, how we explain that to exact citizens? So the best is to show them.
Fantastic. Yeah. So still staying on Gen AI, Sandeep, how do you envision Gen AI changing our daily lives? But not immediately, next 5 to 10 years. So we've just come out of the POC mode that we're talking about. It's getting into mainstream. So you and Microsoft and your colleagues, where do you think and see this from 5 to 10 years from now?
Yeah, I think we can probably say 2 years, right? Let's take 2 years as a pan. today we moved from, let's say, AI being an assistant with no autonomy to AI being an assistant with autonomy. That means, imagine a simple example, right? You're boarding a flight to Mumbai and you're off your phone for 90 minutes. Now, is there a way you can tell your AI buddies, hey, you know what? I'm boarding a flight for the next 90 minutes. I'm not there. I want you to do these 2 tasks for me. By the time I land in Mumbai, can you tell me whether it's done or not?
Right.
That is technically implementable today, but 2 years on the line, practically happening. So mainstream. That means I need a PPT on a proposal, and I want you to basically order this gift for my son's birthday next week. So I land in Mumbai, and my agent says, Sandeep, you know what? First one, I could have your PPT ready. Second one, by the way, I know your son likes football. Do you want me to order a football jersey or you want a cake in the shape football? You tell me. So here in the loop. That means I'm given autonomy, but it's conversational, but it always seeks my input. So yes, I was not there for 2 hours. It could do so much of work in my hands. And that means I think I would probably save time, same time do something better, something meaningful, something purpose-led. So AI is only going to make a life a lot more purposeful going forward.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is a very, very relatable scenario. But again, we've been talking a lot on AI. Do you think there are other technologies that will become either equally powerful or will accelerate AI?
You know what? This is, you might think it's crazy, but I spoke about agents, right?
Yeah.
Agents are nothing but human proxies. An innovation which probably we saw in earlier pre-generative AI noise was metaverse.
Yes.
And digital twins.
Yes.
Now recently, Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, created his digital twin equivalent, twin,
That's the point.
and which was basically exposed to everything of Reid Hoffman in the internet, that hundreds of books he's written, hundreds of podcasts he has been part of, everything was fed into the model. So the model is Reid Hoffman aware. So it was put out on the outside world, people could interact and interview that particular digital twin. So Reid Hoffman was probably sleeping that night, but his digital equivalent, digital twin, was answering an interview. So my view is future is where the digital twin as a persona will take shape, because metaverse happened without AI maturity.
Right.
AI immature. Absolutely. Now, I would not say metaverse, I would say digital twin as a design thinking will be a lot more matured with generative AI complementing it.
Right.
That's something which I would probably see. Look, I'm given human persona, but let's say factories, right? Large warehouses. Can you manage, despite being wherever you are, on operations? Today, we're seeing examples of automobile factories being controlled, orchestrated by few people in a control room.
Right.
Entire thing is light showed operations, but you control it from control. So digital twin is what will probably become mainstream thanks to AI innovation.
Fantastic. That's absolutely feasible. Rewind. Just before we were discussing, you were talking about COVID or pre-COVID, right? If we were having this conversation back in 2021 or slightly earlier, Gen AI would have been more of an unseen technology. It was there, but it was not mainstream.
Right.
What technology you think is currently unseen would become mainstream? Again, I would want to know 4 to 5 years, but take your time span. But whatever was unseen would become seen in future. Where do you see that?
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, honestly, something not visible to visible itself is AI in my view. AI was not visible in 2021 to us.
Exactly.
But I'll go back to, I'm very passionate about metaverse because I spend good time understand the relevance, applicability. The example I gave you healthcare earlier, in fact, the real experiment was 2 doctors deciding on how do they approach surgery in the metaverse before they went to the OT.
Right.
It's real. Doctors Vishal Rao and Dr. Shiv Kumar were in the metaverse. It is head and neck oncology, by the way. The head and neck structure was in the metaverse. There were 2 different buildings in Bangalore. They could enter the metaverse. The same hologram was visible on the table, right? Fitness table. They went around and they planned the surgery in the metaverse. And after deciding where to do the incision, then the OT thing happened. So, metaverse had taken a backseat for 2 reasons. AI was not ready. Second, the form factor, I would say, innovation.
Right.
It cannot be admired glass.
Exactly.
Right? Because in the OT, they already have something they wear for magnifier glasses. If you put one more thing on their head, it's largely going to be inconvenience for them. So now, till this head-mounted device becomes a wearable glass, I think metaverse will not be seen. So now in the next 3-4 years, I would say the form factor innovation and AI coming together will become visible going forward.
Yeah, and I think AI will only help accelerate to find more solutions.
Absolutely.
But what I hear you saying is the collapsing of physical and digital, probably the fusel of that,
Absolutely.
is something which is more unseen as of today. The work is happening in the background, but will become more and more visual. Fantastic. Now, coming back to a slightly more traditional question, which industries and use cases currently you are seeing reaping the most significant benefits of Gen AI?
Okay. I think if you look at, let's take BFSI, manufacturing, retail, healthcare, education, and public sector. These are the 6 verticals. FSI industry is far ahead in terms of having number of use cases being tried out.
Right.
May not be production because regulatory compliance, you can't go to production sooner. So use case been lined up, FSI hands down, they lead the pack. But if there is an industry which is leading in terms of use cases being put into production in a B2C environment as retail.
Okay.
Retail for sure. And manufacturing shop floor.
Right.
So retail manufacturing industries are definitely, cruising right now. FSI cruising in terms of number of use cases. But the impact, in my view, he is largely felt for education sector and healthcare. Oh, wow. Healthcare, of course, takes time. In fact, I was talking to, I was basically in one of the discussions, the CEO of a healthcare company in India. And we were talking about generative AI and impact on healthcare. And I showed an example where you could ask a question on a medical journal. Now, when I showed that, one of the oncologists again, incidentally, he interrupted entire call. I said, Sandeep, this is music to my ears because I get 4 journals every week my way.
Right.
I have no time to understand what's in the journal.
Right.
Now, if you're saying I can ask any kind of journals I get, you saved my time.
Exactly.
Right. So I think healthcare impact, but of course, healthcare and FSI will take time because regulatory compliance. But if you ask me, if you are to pick one industry which I feel largely impacted in a positive fashion, that's EdTech. EdTech, yeah. See, look, imagine each of us have a ChatGPT when we were growing up.
Right.
Oh, yeah. How tough. See, I could not understand many concepts, went over my head. Had no guts to ask. Is that concern? True. Now I can ask my ChatGPT as a buddy saying, you know what, hey, Copilot, explain this to me.
Yeah, and repeatedly, once more and another time in another way.
In no time of the day, 24 bus are available. I could be a lot more. I could have been a lot more, I would say, meaningful for this planet. I didn't know more.
You mentioned something about the regulatory parts in certain industries, right? So with the increasing use of AI, how's Microsoft ensuring user privacy and data security?
Absolutely. See, end of the day for Microsoft, I think AI safety, AI security is number one. So even before generative AI took shape, Microsoft has been in the forefront of what we call as responsible AI, ethical AI, right? Those principles were the foundation of how we were innovating as a company in the past. Now with generative AI taking off, I think we're infusing all the responsible design principles, safety, security, privacy as the foundation building blocks by design into all blocks we're building. You can use a Copilot to rest assured that your data is your data. Model or Copilot has no access to data. It has access but doesn't consume it, right? We are not training on your data. And your privacy security is of utmost importance. So anything that is not meant for your consumption, right? The Copilot has no access to it. Okay, so by design, by approach, Microsoft has infused these principles as a foundation building block for every product.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. And I think that's a very responsible way of bringing in a disruptive technology into the hands of users. Back on the stage, Sandeep, I heard you talk about agentic AI. Would really love your views for our listeners to savor more.
Yeah, so look, it's all AI. Yeah, so let's understand Copilot. Copilot as a term is omnipresent right now. It's become verb, or adjective, whatever you call it. Now, Copilot is someone who is perceived to be your AI assistant. Right. AI assistant who converses with you in a synchronous fashion and you trigger the conversation. That means Copilot has no autonomy. It has no role to play unless you trigger. That means it's human-triggered conversation. Now, agents in its true sense, right? I'll give you a simple example. The best way to understand Copilot is assistant. Imagine you're on a film set. You ask your assistant, hey, you know what, I'm going to go from here to there. It's sunny, can you hold the umbrella? Right. He or she will do it. Right? You say, hey, get me, give coffee, he or she will do it. That's assistant, that's Copilot. You also have agents in the movie industry. You're saying, hey, agent, you know what, I want a Bollywood role. Can you explore? Oh, okay. Agents will do exploratory on your behalf.
Right.
They'll have skills to explore. You give autonomy to them to explore. Give you an opportunity in Bollywood. For that.
Right.
So that's the best way to demonstrate assistant, which is a co-pilot, and agents with autonomy. And you trigger the agent for sure, human triggered, but they go on their own because they're capable to research, reason, they plan things, they'll build connects, and they'll get the job done for you. That's the best way to explain a co-pilot agent in the context of a Bollywood exam.
Fantastic. Look, all of us, anyone outside India also relate to Bollywood big time. Again, back in the room, you saw it was full of a lot of youngsters.
Yeah.
I would really want to seek your advice for these young professionals who aspire to work in the field of AI and technology.
You know what? There's one term which is probably being center stage is staying relevant, because the base of innovation is unprecedented. None of us have seen this pace of innovation ever in our tenure in the industry, right? And the pace is such that if you don't know it, it's almost skipping a heartbeat. So the end of the hour is to basically embrace what's happening. Right? For some people, it's uncomfortable, but no choice. You have to move forward and make AI as a way of life in everything doing in your professional, personal life. Because trust me, in the era where mobile phones kind of mushroomed and laptops mushroomed, the term was BYOD.
Yes.
Right? Now it's BYOAI.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So whether you like it or not, let's take Birlasoft for that matter. You've given, let's say, X number of people being empowered with co-pilots. Other people, trust me, they'll be using either chat GPT or anything of that sort. For sure. Right? That means everybody using it. So if people not using it, I think, you have to question how will you stay relevant in the foreseeable future. So staying relevant becomes a mantra. Right? Embracing AI becomes essential. That's the only way to hang on to what's happening right now.
Fantastic. So, mantra and essentials told. I think we've had a fantastic conversation, starting from your hobbies to dreams to in the more serious stuff, profound experiences that you've had and what you see. Sandeep, it has been a enlightening conversation for me personally, and I'm sure our listeners would find it to be fantastic. Thanks for being here.
Love the conversations and glad I could add value to the podcast.
Thank you. It was great having you. So, listeners, keep listening to Tech Lyceum. That's your Birlasoft podcast. All things businesses and technology meet here. And we keep coming to you with interesting content. Thank you.
That was such a good conversation to sit back and listen in on. Thank you, Sandeep, and thank you, Satinder, for leading this conversation. I hope all of you listening in took something away from this. I know I'm going to be thinking about it. Until next time, keep tuning in for more interesting discussions like these. For now, it's me, Nirja, signing off. Bye-bye.
You were listening to Tech Lyceum, a podcast from Birlasoft.